Okay, when you play around with as many radios and tubes that I have, and I have approximately, I'm going to say between 2,500 and 3,000 vacuum tubes right now in my basement, you need to have some tube testers. Now this is my Sencor TC162, which I bought off of eBay for just under $100 some years back. And this is a nice little tester. Let me get this opened up here. And you can see here's the gauge up here. I'll move this back so you can see it better. There we go. As you can see, it has the various sockets on the left and then the meter on the right. And then, of course, the switches that you could bypass here. You can set a filament voltage, put a load on it, check for shorts and transconductors with this switch. And then there's a book here that's built into the case on the left, which tells you all the various settings. So this is a nice little tester, and like I said, you could probably get one of these now if you want one for about, maybe, I would say about $50 to $70 if you shop around. Okay, I just put my triplet back out here, and let's actually do a test on a tube. Now I have a couple tubes here, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go to this tube chart, and we're going to test this guy here, which is a 42. And then we have to set up some settings on the tester. Okay, so we have to set up the circuit, which is A, and there's a switch up here. It says here number 3. So we're going to take that, which is this switch here, and we'll put it over to number 3. Okay, next is the load. Okay, and it says here 31. Okay, I got here's the load setting right there, and I've just set it to 31. And then the tube elements here. And up is, let's see, go across the line here. Up is 234. Okay, so 234 is up. And let's see, down is 56. Alright, and then the rest of them go in the middle. Alright. Alright, so let me get a tube ready. Okay, we got our first number 42 tube right here. You can see the 42 there, and it's made by Vacumn. So we gotta find the right socket to put that in, which I believe is this one. Okay, got it in the socket. Alright, and we should be all good to go here. 6.3 volt filament. Now what we do is we're going to turn on the line voltage, but then we're going to watch the meter. And as I bring up this knob, like so, this arrow is going to come up. And we bring it up until we're right in the middle there. And when that's going on, you can actually, I'll turn off the light so you can see a little better. You can see that tube is actually heating up, just like it would if it were in a radio. Okay. We're going to give it a few seconds to heat up, and then we're actually going to test it out and then check it against the meter here. Alright, so first of all, we're going to go from here to the value, where this is a spring-loaded switch. We're going to move it over to value. And the needle just went over, and you can see it went into the good side. Okay. And now we're going to take it, we're going to flip it over to the other side, and that'll let us know if there's a short. And if there is, that light will come on. So, okay, I got on the short side, no light. Alright, so we'll go back, check emissions again. And what we have is a good 42 tube right here. Okay, now we've got our second number 42 tube. Also happens to be a Vacumn. We already have our settings in place. We got the tube in the socket. Okay, let's crank her up. Okay, get it to the center line, like so. Okay, and this tube is also heating up, which you can see a little bit better with the light off. Okay, so we're going to make like that's warming up in the radio. Give it a few seconds. And we're going to flip this over to value, and we're going to check to make sure that the emissions are good on this tube. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. What's going on here? It says bad. Okay, in this case we want to make sure that we've given it enough time to heat up. And it has. sometimes when you go to test the tube and it says it's bad, you want to make sure that that element is lit. In this case it is. So basically this tube, although similar to the first tube, the second tube is not good on emissions. So we'll still do the short test. Okay, it doesn't matter though, because unless your tube has good emissions, it's not going to work in the radio. So this tube is no good, and the first tube was good. So there you go. Okay, now the question was sent to me, and I won't mention names, but you know who you are when you ask me this, is that can a vacuum tube go bad by blowing up? Well, it depends on what your definition of blowing up is. So what we're going to try to do is a little bit of experiment here. I'm taking my digital voltometer, and I've connected up to one of my variacs, which is basically a variable transformer, and I've hooked up some power from the variac to the heater portion of the vacuum tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to gradually bring up the voltage on the variac, and you'll start to see the heater start to come on this. This was the number 42 tube that we just tested, and that was no good. So what we're going to do is bring up the voltage, and we're going to keep bringing it up, and we're going to see just how high it goes until, well, the tube is going to explode, or who knows what's going to do. So let me put on some safety glasses. I already know what's going to happen, but just for safety's sake, in case something crazy goes on here, this isn't going to be like a David's Farm airbag stunt, although really cool. I don't think we're going to go that far. So, and let me see. Let me turn off the light. I can't see the display that well. Alright, we'll leave the light on, and we're just going to start bringing it up a little time. So watch the tube and watch the meter. You'll see, oh, it also helps if I plug the variac in. Okay. And here we go. Let's see what happens. Now, the heater voltage on this tube is 6.3 volts. So we'll see what happens as we go up. So alright, we're already up to almost 2.5 volts. And I'm starting to see, it may not be shown really well, but the tube is lighting up. Okay, now we're up to 7 volts. Should be able to see the tube by now. We're going to keep bringing it up. Alright, that's 10.5 volts. And you can see that it's getting brighter. 13 volts. Well, so we've already doubled the voltage. I hope it doesn't blow up on my finger. Look at that, 18 volts. And just getting brighter and brighter, 20 volts. 23 volts. And I think we got up to about 24 volts, and then I guess you saw an arc. And then it just went away. So we blew up the heater. And of course the emissions were no good on the tube anyway. So typically what happens is the emissions will just go bad on a tube, and radio or TV or whatever will stop working. But you can't really even make these things blow up. Kind of reminds me of the Young Tom Edison movie where, I'm trying to remember, it wasn't James Cagney, but the actor that played Tom Edison was trying to get his light bulb to work, and he kept putting more and more power into it. Well, that's basically what we just did here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and this is Radio Wild, and hope you guys, hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Labor Day holiday. Take care. Bye.